Hi, it's Garry. Well, welcome to today's live stream. Let me just sit up a little bit. I'm slouching already. I'll end up slouching a lot though. That's how I always do, sliding down my chair. Not sure if you can hear this. Just got a plane going overhead. So, welcome all. Weather update today. It's nippy. It's cold today. Let me just double check my watch and then I'll fetch up my Safari page. So we've got Safari. Where are you? There we go. Found the magic button. So today at the moment, it's only 22 degrees Celsius. That's near enough 72 Fahrenheit. So yeah, feeling a bit cold at the moment. Yeah, I know. It's funny, isn't it? 22 Celsius. I was talking to my brother-in-law yesterday. He lives just outside London. And he called us it was about 9 a.m. UK time. And he was saying it was -5. I said to him, I don't know if I could survive -5. I mean, he's getting on in age. I mean, he's well into his 80s. And yeah, I said to him, look, just make sure you don't go out, because the problem with that temperature, it's the ice more than anything else. And especially if you get the ice where you can't see. I mean, the last thing we want is for him to go and roll over. So let's head back to the face camera. There we go. Let's minimize this for the second. Minimize. And let's go through our comments. So I've got one which somebody posted a while back saying they'll be back in 46 minutes. John Klein. I'm not sure why I can't see it now on my pop-up. I can see it though on the chat that's going through on the other window. Yes, I know. Isn't that a lot? So David, let me click on it. Hello from Austin, Texas, where it's 49 Fahrenheit or 9.4 Celsius, but a beautiful, bright blue day. That sounds nice. Where have I been? Or was it something I was watching on TV from Austin? I'm sure I've heard. It could have been a program I was watching. I watch all sorts of programs. Alia Rose. Hi from deeply snowy Pennsylvania. Welcome to you. Wow, snow. I remember that. Them good old days. Ted, hello from Seattle. Tony, hello from cold Wiltshire in the UK. Threat of snow and around freezing. Yeah, my brother-in-law was saying he thinks it's about the start of December, and he said it's just not been warm since. Blonde Scales 1, hello from snowy Arkansas. Marie, hi from snowy Michigan. Loads of snow around today. Marcy Me, hello from Texas in USA. We've got Tom, hello from Atlanta, dropping below freezing for the night. David, is Austin the only place that's not snowing? Yeah, it does sound a bit like that. Well, obviously Los Angeles, it won't be snowing. I mean, that's horrendous, the things we've been hearing about that. I mean, we get forest fires here in Australia, and, you know, they're not good. I say, because we live on the outskirts of this suburb, we have, most years, we've got a fire over the road from us. Over the road is open bushland. There was one about a mile away last week. We drove past it today. It's just all black. They can so easily happen, and when they go, especially when there's wind. Andreas, g'day from humid but cool Brisbane. Yeah, thankfully we haven't had the humidity kicking yet, but definitely with you on the cool. David, hello. Hey Tom, how you doing? Blonde Scales 1, we got ours on Thursday and overnight into Friday morning. Let's move this down. Tom to David. I survived 3.5 inches of snow yesterday. Wow, that's a lot. Marcy Me, here you go. We've got, is that snow and a snowman, is it? Alia Rose, the Asvine C2000 I ordered was murdered by Amazon shipping, just notified of the death. Oh, that's a shame. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Teresa Harris that I watched yesterday. Doing her first impression on a C2000. Might not be her, but that's ringing my bell at the moment. Blonde Scales 1, we got about 7 inches. Wow! I wouldn't be able to move with that much snow. I mean, in the UK, when it snowed, when I lived there, where I lived, they were all really urban places. So when you got snow, it wasn't that deep. You'd be lucky if you got an inch. Blonde Scales 1. Oh, ouch, per pen. And Alia Rose, R.I.P. Marty Me to Alia Rose. So sorry. And it's awful when they do that. Straight onto the juice today. I've already finished my tea. I've been quite thirsty today. Alia Rose, to Marcy Me. It's okay. It's more okay than it could be. I saw a review showing it as being larger than the Jinhao 9019 and was beginning to regret it anyhow, but still, per pen, yeah. I mean, nowadays, I've got to be honest, how can these companies mess up like that? It's not as if it's something that Amazon only ships once every so often. They're shipping that much every day. Spin Nick June, welcome to you. Snow in Michigan. Ricardo, good morning from frosty London. I bet it's frosty. I don't know if you were on a few minutes ago, and I was talking to my brother-in-law. He lives near Croydon, and yeah, he was saying, it was -5 at 9 o'clock in the morning. Blonde Scales 1. Snow, it's a rare thing here. Let's refresh. Blonde Scales 1. People here panic over the possibility of 2 flakes. One of the things which always tickled me, again, when going back many years when I lived in London, I used to commute from where we lived, which was near Croydon, into central London, which is where I worked. And the amount of times in the winter when you'd be stood at the train station waiting for a Thameslink train, and it would come over the tannoy, train is delayed due to snow on the line. Go to somewhere like Russia and Canada, do they have problems? I don't know, but it always used to tickle me. And then in the autumn, the train is delayed due to leaves on the line. Over here in Perth, the biggest problem we have is really on hot days in the summer. I think it's when it gets to 35 Celsius. I might be wrong. It might be slightly higher. But then if it gets to that temperature, the trains have to run at a reduced speed. So that's when you start getting delays, but they're still running. It just tickles me sometimes. Right, let's refresh this one more time. Anita, I was fixing to watch Miss Harris. Like the looks of that pen. Yeah, it was quite good, quite enjoyable video. Marcy Me, hello to Ricardo. Alia Rose, I rolled the pen refund into a set of watercolour paint tubes. Waste not, want not, absolutely. David, at the Austin Pen Club monthly meeting today, I got to try an Asvine C2000. I was surprised how heavy and substantial it was. Nice pen. Yeah, I like the look of it. It's on my list for this year to look at purchasing. Not sure when it'll be. At the moment, I've got all them Inkvent pens that I'm going through. So I've got loads of stuff to do videos on. So maybe March, April time I might look at it. I do like the look of the green one, though. Marcy Me to Alia Rose. Excellent choice. Let's refresh. Ricardo, hello, Marcy Me. Congratulations on that gorgeous green pelican from another green colour aficionado. Absolutely. I love my green pens. So Marcy Me, yesterday, my time, that might still be today, Australia, US time. Her video was about a pelican. Oh, I want to say M600, might have been the 800. I think it was the M800, yeah, M800 with an 18-karat gold nib in this gorgeous transparent green. I actually quite like the look of that. I do like green. I'm a big green fan. But she brought some other pens out, and one of them, wow, my jaw dropped when she was showing it. It's brown tortoise shell, absolutely stunning looking pen. Evan Gast to David, I'm excited. The C2000 just arrived and can't wait to write with it. It's a big one. Yeah, this is one of the issues I have with doing the videos is because I like to do a first impression with all the pens that I'm getting. I receive the pen, and sometimes it might be 3 or 4 weeks before I've got the time to actually film that first impression. So I sit there with a pen staring at me. I've got this tub here sits behind me, and in there, that's all the pens that I've got to do first impressions on. We've got a couple of boxes at the top, then the rest of them are fairly loose. So I've got loads of pens there to be looking at. So yeah, that's going to take me a while, but we'll get there. David, people in Austin panic when it's below freezing and someone throws their soda out the window and onto the roadway. Yeah, I can understand that, because to me, snow's nice, but ice is just so dangerous, especially if it's ice you can't see. Do a refresh again. Hopefully I'm pronouncing this right. Una, hello from New York. Welcome to you. Marcimita Ricardo, thanks so much. Alia Rose, to Evan, how does the pen feel in the hand? Heavy? How about the wood? Blonde Scales, 1 more purple pens for me. Yeah, I'm trying to move away from buying green pens because I've got that many of them. So, I'm now forcing myself sometimes. I'm very thirsty today to look at them. That's why I'm patiently waiting for that Pelican M1000 in Renaissance Brown to come down in price somewhere so I can get that. If not, I might either pay the full price or I might go for the green striped version, but I just like that brown one. And yeah, I've got that many green pens. Tony Bins, love the tortoise shell Pelicans. Yep, with you on that. They're quite pretty, aren't they? Ali and Rose, to Blonde Scales 1, heck yeah. Let's refresh. Marcy me to Tony, I've got 2 and 1 more on the way. David, been a member for 3 months. Wow, 3 months. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate all my members. I'm using my membership milestone to be thankful that I finally found a Mont Blanc Hemingway fountain pen. I now see what all the fuss is about. Amen. Yeah, awesome. It's brilliant when you find those, aren't you? Tony, my first Indian pen arrived today. Purple Crush Canwrite Legend with a flex nib. Oh, that sounds nice. Purple Crush, what a lovely name. The Canwrite that I've got in my box for first impressions, that's got a flex in. I've only once tried a flex nib, and that was on an Narwhal School Kill. Didn't get on with it, so I swapped it out. So it's going to be interesting to see how I get on with that one. Alia Rose, I maybe have a few too many pink pens. Yeah, I'd say that's like me with a green. I've got maybe 20 or 30 green pens. Blonde Scales 1, south of me in Texarkana. They apparently got freezing rain based on power outage reports. Do you know that must be terrible when you have a power outage and it's cold? Because no matter how you do your heating nowadays, you need electricity to run it. And if that's going out, it must be so cold in some houses. Let's refresh again. Tony Tomasimi, that's why I can't find a tortoise shell. Yeah, all these people grabbing up the tortoise shells. Don't blame them. Evan, to Alia Rose, truthfully, I just got through the door. It was waiting. I opened and held it. It's beefy and fairly heavy. Then put it back in the box and unpacked. Now I'm here. The wood feels good. Yeah, because I do like wooden pens. I've got a few wooden pens. I think they look quite nice. David, welcome to you. I just got my green C2000 and it looks like the perfect pen for Birmingham Interstellar bronzing. Oh, bronzing sounds nice, doesn't it? That'll be... I'm quite enjoying at the moment orangey type inks. Marcy me, Spawn Skills 1. I travel through Texarkana when I visit my parents in Arizona, I'm guessing. They received 12 inches of snow, but they have a wood stove in the Ozark Mountains. Oh, a wood stove would be a lifesaver in this time of the year. I remember when we, again, going back many, many years, when we used to go and visit my father-in-law, he lived in a fairly small village in Norfolk, and he did have radiators then, or central heating, but only in a couple of rooms downstairs. There weren't any upstairs. Them rooms were cold in the winter. But his main heating, he had an Aga, and so that was a wood powered or wood fired Aga, and I used to love just the smell of it. Let's do another refresh. AR is Arkansas, AZ is Arizona. Yeah. I'm terrible. What I should do is I might have to do myself a list and have it somewhere here, so it'll make it easier for me to work around and what's where. Okay, that's all the comments. So today's topic, again, this is following on from last week's, and what I'm mainly trying to get is other people's thoughts on this. What I thought we'd talk about is nib, not the number 6, number 5, but nib sizes as in broad, medium, extra fine, that sort of thing, and really what people, what their favourites are, and not many, but what the favourites are, but why they are. I just think it's quite an interesting thing. You know, we've got all these different nib sizes. I see there's a video from I think it's Foodafan this morning. I haven't watched it yet, where he's looking at different nib sizes for pilot pens. So I've got that to watch in a while. You know, I thought that was quite good timing. So when I first got back into fountain pens, that was, I want to say it's either 4 or 5 years ago now. I know time flies. But anyway, when I got back into them, I started off with medium and fine nibs. Reason for doing that is obviously when I'd last used fountain pens in anger, it was when I was in school, and we bought the pens from the local stationery store, so you can only really get medium pens. So I was used to writing with a medium nib, and when we got back, I thought, yeah, let's go for mediums and fines, just to have a little bit of difference. Very quickly then started buying the pens from China, where a lot of them were extra fine. So I've got loads of extra fine nibs as well. But as time was going on, I was finding I was reaching more and more for the medium nibs. Then again, time moved on like time does. So I would say about 18 months, couple of years in, I got one broad nib. Oh, and I loved it. I loved the size. I loved the line it puts down. I loved the way it felt on the paper. So I started buying then whenever and wherever possible broad nibs. And I'm still where I like my broad nibs. I also like 1.1 stub nibs. I find with the stub nibs, you've got a little bit more character coming out in your writing. I've got a few long blade knives which have got that slight architect to it. I haven't actually got a full architect grind yet. That's something I do want to get at a later stage. I'm sliding down my chair again, just to try them out. And so my choice of nibs has changed, and it's still evolving. It could be that I'll eventually go back to liking the fine nibs. And really, I'd like to get other people's thoughts on this. What is it that draws you to particular nib sizes? Just going to refresh the comments, see if there's anything in there yet. Alia Rose, we only have old-fashioned downstairs heating in my old house, and just throw another cat if it gets chilly in bed. Sorry. Yeah, that's a good thing about dogs as well. When it's cold, they like to snuggle up and share their warmth. Anita, all those new pens, jealous? Jealous will have to visit Amazon's shopping basket. Absolutely. Blonde Scales 1, most of mine are fine nibs, which works since I tend to write small. Anita, I live in Florida, but gas fireplaces are nice. Marcy Me, my initial fountain pen purchases were fine and extra fine. It took a bit for me to get into medium, After I tried a Stub 1.1, I enjoyed and ventured into broad and double broad with a new love for ink properties. Yeah, I think certainly with just to fetch this out. I'm struggling with my new thingamajig journal thing. It's got the grid, but it's 5mm, and what I'm trying to do is keep within that. But what I'm finding is with the pens. So I've got here. This is oh no, it's not. It's a medium. Let me just see if I can get some good examples. So I'm trying to write small, which is actually working really well. But with them bigger nibs, it sometimes does come out looking a bit messy. Where's today's? Today, because I've got 1.1 stub, so it's certainly helping me to improve my writing by having them smaller things, but yeah, it's a pain in the butt. Blonde Scales 1. I do have some extra fine medium broad stubs and a twin nib. A twin nib? Oh, that sounds different. Just got a mouthful of ice. Tony, I've placed an order with Canwright for a titanium Ultraflex, broad, double broad, and a medium Architect, all with ebonite feeds. £45, including delivery. The pen that arrived today only took 4 days to arrive. That's brilliant. That's fast. That's fast from India, isn't it? And £45, that's a really good price. Hey, Gary. Could it be that you were using extra fine/fine until you started using higher quality paper? Yeah, I can see that exactly where you're coming from. That it's definitely, as I was getting in, my choice of paper was definitely vastly improving, and when I used them broader things on the cheaper paper, you really could see the difference. I mean, this is the notepad I'm currently using for my daily writing, which is, I think it was about 47 cents. And there we've got a 1.1 stub, which is the Portuguese Meteor ink. And then the reddish ink, that's Forest Gato, and that's in a broad nib. And certainly, I do find issues with it as over the page. You can start seeing it coming through. But when you consider the price of these notepads, I don't mind that. But when I'm using my nicer paper, yeah, I can actually see what you're saying there, because that cheaper paper just does not handle the broader nibs. Alia Rose, my favourite is regular, old, medium, ranging to broad. I like how a good thick line shows off ink properties and feels less stretchy and pinched for me. The journaler nib is a new discovery, and I want more. The journaler nib, isn't that a fairly fine nib from memory? I've not got one. Because I think you can get them on, is it Estes? I don't have any Esterbrook pens yet. Something, again, I will get one eventually, but they just seem a bit overpriced at the moment to me for over here. Let's refresh. But yeah, I think this is a brilliant conversation, trying to learning all this. Ricardo to Tony, congratulations. Blonde Scales 1, the twin nib was an Kveiko pens and can be used in all my AL Sports. Is that the one where you've got, if you write one side, you've got one width, and then turn it over, you've got a different width on the other side from memory? Hi, Ricardo, thanks. Andreas, I've got a range of nib sizes, but have tended to larger nib sizes lately to try the different ink qualities. Finer nibs don't always show off the ink. Yeah, some of the inks I've got at the moment, like the sheening inks, really like the way they're looking in a broad nib. Whereas I've tried the same ink with a fine nib, and you just, as you say, you just don't see anything like that. Blonde Scales 1 plus my small collection of dip pens. Yeah, I've got a few glass pens. I should get them out and use them occasionally. Chronic Fish, hello. I'm new to fountain pens. I'm looking for a budget-friendly pen with a broad nib, but wanted to know if all broad nib pens are very wet writers. Thank you. Greetings from Greece. Well, welcome to you. I'm going to be recording in about 2 weeks' time, where I'm going to be recording my suggested starter pens for 2025. I think that'll be getting published sometime in February. Most of them are likely to be Chinese, where it's difficult to get hold of a broader nib. My recommendation for a good starter pen, if you want a broad nib, is a TWSBI. Now, I haven't tried the TWSBI Swipe myself, but a lot of people have said how nice they are. The TWSBI Eco is the one that I tend to go for. It's a little bit more expensive. I think in terms of Aussie dollars, they're about 70-ish Aussie dollars. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. And they've got a massive range of nib sizes. And if you find you don't like a particular nib size, they are actually quite easy to swap. Sorry. In terms of our broad nib pens, wet writers, that's a difficult one to say. And I appreciate that you said you're new to fountain pens. So I'm eventually going to do a graphic on this. What you need to do is think about fountain pens and writing with them a bit like a triangle. So you've got three things that affect it. You've got the nib size, you've got the ink you're using, and you've got the paper, because they can all have a completely different way of behaving. Just trying to think. Have I got one here that I can show you quickly? No, that's not it. Where is it? Hang on, I'm just gonna. So I filmed this during the week. You won't see it for a few days. But what I did is, this is just a cheap notebook. So I've wrote with different pens. So at the top we've got a food aid. Now that's really wide. And with that ink, it worked well. But as we go down, if we go down to this Visconti here, now that's a broad nib. It's a gold broad nib. It's very, very wet. The ink in it also is very wet, so it's really wet. And on this cheap combo, you can actually see where the writing's starting to feather a little bit, but that's because it's on cheap paper. And if I go through turn over the page, you can see lots coming through there. So that's just a quick thing. So yeah, I would say yes, they do tend to be wet writers. There is stuff you can do, but certainly someone new, I wouldn't suggest you really even think about doing that yet. Oops. Marcy Me. Where's the comment? I clicked on it and it vanished. Let me just stroke. There we go. Yes, my fine and extra fine nibs are used on my grid planners. I use medium to double broad. I used in journals. Pardon me. I have an SD with a special grind journaler nib. It's essentially a medium stub nib. Brilliant. Thanks for that. Journaler is like a medium/fine stub hybrid, and is very much overpriced. Brilliant. I say I wasn't 100% sure what a journaler nib was, to be honest. Maybe I was thinking of needlepoint being the one really fine. Blonsdale's one. I wanted to get a music nib when I got my 3776, but I didn't want to pay that much extra for the nib. Yeah, I want to get another 3776 with a music nib. I do like the look of them, but it is not cheap. David, welcome to you. Hello all, late but here. Hope my text go through today. Welcome to you, David. PMW. Hi, I like different sizes depending on mood and ink effects. But I get so frustrated that even outside of normal fluctuation in nib making, the brand's nib sizing isn't equal across the board. Yeah, that's really frustrating. So if you get a Japanese broad, That's fine, a lot finer than a European broad. If you get a broad or a pen or a nib from China, it's a bit of a toss up what what you get. Some I've had some which say medium, and to me they're like extra fine. And I've had some which say extra fine, and they're more like a medium or even a broad. I've got a medium nib on my Asvine V169, and it's like writing with a double broad nib. So yeah, that is a bit frustrating. So you have to try and remember wherever you are. Blonde Scales 1, I like my swipe. Yeah, I say I've not tried one yet. I do intend to, but just not got around to it. Alia Rose Kaweco double broad is good. Absolutely, I've got I've got that on. I've actually got that on my Pilot Jota, a Kaweco double broad nib, and it's beautiful. Love the line. David, I like mediums for several reasons. The first is it lays down a nice line, and then secondly, it's a good place to be since nibs from various places, Asia and Europe, vary in what they call fine or broad, but the medium nibs are usually close. Awesome. So that's also tying in with PMW's comment as well, which is nice to see. Ricardo, Tualia Rose double broad is really good. I got one to use with my Kaweco Piston Sport. Chronic Fish, thank you for your in-depth response. Much appreciated and very helpful. I'll be looking forward to your video. No, thanks for that. This is what these are all about, is joining, is chatting. And then to me, it's all about sharing knowledge and pulling other people's knowledge and really all of us learning. Aries, my swipe is great, but my Twisby Eco T stub nib is better. I do like my stub nibs. And then Guy, hello, welcome to you. Andreas, in the subtropics, it's more like a triangle in a box, pen, paper, and ink all working together in the context of your environment. High humidity can sometimes lead to strange things. Absolutely. I should have really thought of that, shouldn't I, at the time? Where we live, we're not quite subtropics, but obviously we're getting close to that. In the summer, I have to make sure that all my notebooks are stored closed because the paper dries out in the heat. If I keep them closed, it doesn't dry out as bad. A couple of years ago, I actually did a video with that with Oxford optic paper. And what I did is I had a brand new, I think it might have been this one, which was brand new, and I hadn't used it at all. And I had another one, which I kept, in fact, it might even be this one. I had another one, which I kept on my shelf, and I kept it open. I'm just having a quick look. Might have been this one. No, it wasn't. But what I noticed is with the one that I kept open, the ink would dry in under 10 seconds. With the one that had been closed, same pen, same ink, would dry in about a minute. So, yeah, definitely something there to bear in mind. Alia Rose, hi to an ink guy. Ricardo, hello. Spin Knit June, welcome to you. I generally use an extra fine and a fine as I write small, but I just got a 1.1 stub and enjoyed it. Yeah, why I like the stub nibs, I think I said earlier, I like that natural line variation that comes with it. And to me, it's like when I'm using a sheening ink or a shimmering ink, it just adds a little bit more character to my writing. And, you know, most people won't notice the difference, but to me, it adds to the pleasure that I get because, as I'm often saying, you know, the whole point of fountain pens, the whole point is you want to be able to get ideas out of your head and onto paper and in a way that you enjoy. And to me, it's that enjoyment part, which is really why I like my fountain pens. Tom, Platinum are, I believe, the best music nibs. Others are Sailor, Pilot, Tacoma, pardon me, which is Sailor Steel, and Franklin Christoph, which is also steel. Brilliant. Thanks for that, Tom. An ink guy, hi to Alia Rose and Ricardo. Andreas, sometimes it's even within the brand. My Lamy 2000 broad writes less wide than my Lamy 2000 medium. Yeah, again, there's that variation. What tickles me, and as I say, when I first got it, I think I said in the first impressions for my Lamy 2000, which is a broad, it's more like a stub nib than a broad. I love it. Absolutely love it. I've got that inked up at the moment. You'll see that in a few minutes when we do the pens for the week. Sorry. Marcy Me, to Andreas, my Lamy 2000 extra fine is quite a wet writer, like Sailor medium fine. Blonde Scales 1, I like the pens that make it easy for you to buy different sizes of nibs to swap out in a pen. Yeah, the TWSBI Diamond 580, if you're not happy pulling out a nib, you can actually buy complete units and just screw them in and out. Dead simple. David, to Spin Knit June, I also enjoy my extra fine and fine for most of my writing. I tried a 1.1 stub on my VAC Mini and hated it. Swapped it out for a fine. Tony, hello, Chronic Fish. A Lamy Safari or a AL Star would be a good starter for a broad. Very cheap and easy to nib swap, and they have a good range of nib options. Yeah, now I personally have never got on with my Safari. The other one, which I think is absolutely worth mentioning, and was a surprise to me, I've not had it overly long, was the Faber-Castell Hexo. Beautiful. I love it. And I think it was about 45 Aussie dollars. It wasn't expensive at all. I bought mine from Appleboom, which is in the Netherlands. So you can buy them, within Europe, because I remember you saying you were in Greece. Not sure about Greece. I haven't really seen any shops in Greece that do online ordering to Australia. But yeah, Appleboom is well worth looking at. Blonde Scales 1, I prefer the AL Star to a Safari. Yeah, I don't mind my AL Star, but saying that, it's got a 1.5 stub nib, so it's very hard to really compare the two. Marcy Me, my journey experience exactly. Alia Rose, my Lamy broad nib is very much a medium. It's odd. Yeah, you'd have thought the amount of money you're paying for Lamys, they'd be a bit more standardised. Tony, I agree. Chronic Fish, to Tony, hello. Thank you so much for your advice. I had looked into the Lamy, TWSBI and a Kaweco Sport, and to be honest, I want all of them. Yeah, I'm afraid that does happen. I've now got about something like 150 pens. I know. John, any opinions on the long knife Hongdian nibs? I have got one Hongdian long knife. I quite like it. Again, it's not as full of character as I was hoping, but it's only a small long knife. I have got a pen. I think it's one of the pens I've got to do a first impressions on. Has got a 1mm or something like 0.7 to 1mm long knife on it. Not sure when I've got that scheduled for. Let's take a quick look and tell you when it's scheduled for. If I can remember. I can't remember which the pen is, sorry. It could be any time in the next 6 months. Refresh. And then, Guy, I enjoy a bunch when the nib is a bit stubbish in the writing. I had a Broad Pilot 823 ground to a fine stub. It was a stubbish Lamy 2000 medium that made me aware of a preference I didn't know I had. Yeah, I'm completely with you about the stubs. I say, to me, it just adds that little bit of extra character to it. Tony, to Chronic Dish, you will down the rabbit hole. Absolutely. It's so easy. Ron, hey Gary, me and my new wireless pacemaker are thoroughly enjoying your show. Word has it, our doorman has a Lamy 2000 for me. Fun stuff. Awesome. Glad to hear you're keeping well there, Ron. And yeah, I don't know how you're waiting getting down to the doorman. Blonde Scales 1, get them all and see which you like best. Absolutely. David, the Faber-Castell E-Motion fountain pen is one of the best value pens for money I have ever seen. A great pen for right at about $100 US. Alia Rose, Hongdian long knife nibs are sharper and more defined than the same in a Kaigaloo, in my experience. Cool, thanks for that. Again, Chinese nibs, it's very, very variable. Anita, treated myself to a Pilot Pereira calligraphy medium. Loads of fun. I can't remember who it was. I was watching a video earlier this week. Might have been Marcy Me, but I may be wrong there. Where they were going through a whole lot of Pilot Pereiras that they had, and one of them was that calligraphy nib, and it looked really nice. Chronic Fish to Tony. Lol, yep, down I go. Let's do a refresh. Wow, we've got loads of discussion today. It's brilliant. Andreas, it was you that Juiced was talking about. I'm talking to Joost about a very expensive Tasha pen he has at the best price. I asked about shipping to Australia, and he mentioned shipping to an important YouTuber. I don't know. I don't think it's me. It could be Mick Lampard over in Sydney now, I think he is. I wish it was me. I'm quite happy for if he just wants to send me pens. I'm quite happy to review them for him. But yeah, I don't even think he knows I'm a YouTuber. I mean, I just order as if, like everybody else. But yeah, if Yost is watching, I'm quite happy. If you want me to review any pens, just drop me a line. Alia Rose to Renita. I've been looking for those. Chronic Fish. Oh, and the Pilot Kakuno. Heard that's a good pen. Marcy Me. Yes, I just shared a Pilot Pereira and CM calligraphy medium video. Brilliant. At least my brain's working a little bit today. Blonde Scales 1, it's a nice pen. And Alia Rose to Chronic Fish, and the Kakuna has a new pastel series out. So I'm going to swap over because we're flying through. Let's go over to the overhead camera. Make sure I get my notes so I can see them. Oh, where's my mouse? I've done it again. I've lost that damned mouse. Okay, pens I've been using this week. So we start with a pen that I've been using all week. So my weekly pen. This is a Twisby Draco. I love the colouring of this. I love the size of it. It's really nice. Things I don't like about it is the ink window. It's a very small ink window. And then inside that ink window is actually a little bit of the ink reservoir that you can see. So the whole ink window isn't even used. So I do struggle. Let me get in the camera. I do struggle with this to know what the ink level is. We've got there that Twisby nib. To me, the nib's too small for the pen. But at the end of the day, it writes brilliantly. I love writing with it. So we've got the Twisby Draco. And this has got a broad nib on it. And the ink is by Diamine. And it's Forest Gateau. And price-wise, you're looking about $215 when I bought it. It was a limited edition. I don't know how they can really say it was limited. There was something like 5,000. So I don't think they're for sale in many retailers, but I would assume you could pick them up on the second-hand market. So that was my weekly pen. So the first of my daily pens. Here we've got the Asvine P20, and I believe this is called Starry Skies. Beautiful colour. Absolutely gorgeous pen. Got a nice ink window. Ink window could do with being a little bit bigger, but I am able to see my ink level. So it's a piston filling pen. There we've got the nib that it came with, which is, I believe, an Asvine nib. So it's a Chinese pen. So we've got an Asvine P20. Love writing with this pen. It's very comfortable. It's got a medium nib. Price-wise, you're looking at approximately 44 Aussie dollars. What I try to do when I'm giving prices is give the price excluding shipping where possible. Because shipping obviously varies depending where it's being sent to. The ink is by Colourverse. And it's Neptune Occultation, if I can remember to spell it right. So nice blue ink, and as it dries, I do find this has depending on the paper, a nice little bit of red sheen. Not a lot, but just a hint of a red sheen. This paper I'm using today is a Midori MD cotton pad, and it's like a creamy colour. So next up, so this is one of the ones that I can't remember your name. Chronic Fish was asking about. This is a Kaweco Sport. This is, I think it's white coconut. What I've done with this is I've actually eyedropper filled this barrel. So I've got loads of silicone grease on it. You can use cartridges. You can use a converter. They are proprietary cartridges to Kaweco, but it is possible. Unposted, obviously, it's a small pen. Once you post it, I find it's quite nice. Section, if you've got large hands like me, does feel a bit thin. And on here, I've got a 1.1 stub nib. Now, I've been trying to agitate this a bit because there's a shimmer ink in here. So we've got here a Kaweco Sport. And I say it's got a 1.1 stub nib. Price-wise, you're looking at approximately 45 Aussie dollars. The ink is another Colourverse one. And if I can spell it right, Portuguese Meteor. I do like this ink. It's a really nice pale blue colour. And again, not sure if it shows through. We get a really nice, it helps if I get in the camera. We do get a very nice, like darker blue shimmer coming through as well. Up next, one of my Australian hand-turned pens by this pen bloke. I've changed the ink this week. I think last week we had Salted Caramel. This week we've got Diamine Grotto. Very nice. Got a nice number 6 pen. This is a cartridge converter. So you can see there, that's quite full because I changed that ink this week. Nice pen in the hand. So this is that pen bloke. He just calls it a fountain pen. And it's got a broad nib on it. Price-wise, you're looking... Oh, sorry, when I bought it, it was 190 Aussie dollars. That was a couple of years ago. The chances are they've gone up in price since then. So please reach out if you're interested in that. He does have a website, thatpenbloke.com, I think it is, or it might be .com.au. That's where he lists loads of different pens for sale. The ink, I say, is by Diamine. And it's Grotto. This is one of the extreme sheen inks. So this is more of an orangey base colour. And on this paper, it's actually not showing any sheen at all. It might do as it dries, but on most of my papers, it's got a really nice green sheen. Let me see if I can get it to show you. Just going into my journal, so please don't read what's written. Oh no, I was still with Salted Caramel when I wrote in there. But yeah, it does dry with green sheen. Up next, we've got a Pilot, and this is the Elite in some parts of the world and our E95S in others. Oh, my poor voice. Anyone would think I was a teenager. Love this pen. It's not quite a pocket pen, but it's getting towards that. It's very, very light. Again, it's very short when it's unposted, and it is a cartridge converter. You can use the COM40 in here. I don't. I find it's a complete pain in the butt. Because this is very deep, you can never see the ink level with the converter. So all I do, I just refill the cartridge. And then post it. Gorgeous. And this has got a 14 karat gold nib. So Pilot E95S. And it's a medium. And it's 14 karat gold. Price-wise, you're looking at about 215 Aussie dollars. Sorry, 1 second. Could feel my nose running. I don't want to chase after it. This is my cheapest non-Chinese gold nibbed pen. Really good value pen. And the ink is, he says, checking his notes, Diamine cranberry. So this, it's not an extreme sheen, but it is a sheen in ink. I can see like a gold sheen coming out on this. Let me just lift it up so hopefully we can catch that on the camera. Still not seeing much. Seeing little bits coming through now with that Diamond Grotto, but got quite a lot of gold sheen coming through with that cranberry. Up next, a pen we've spoke about quite a bit today, Lamy 2000. So this has got a broad nib, but as I say, I do think it's more of a stubby type broad. So we've got, it's also a piston fill. I know I should have said all this before. I find this ink window, to be honest, next to unusable at the moment. But at the moment, I have issues with my eyes. I've got, what do they call them? Cataracts. So it's very difficult for me to see anything that's small. We were in the supermarket yesterday. I know I should get on with the writing, shouldn't I? We were in the supermarket yesterday and we were looking at, because we look at the labels on some stuff, you know, like the food details. I ended up having to get my phone out and zoom in on the phone just so I could read it. Anyway, get on with it, Garry. So, a Lamy 2000 with a broad 14 karat gold nib. Price wise, you're looking at roughly 340 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Colorverse. It's Super Giant. Just a standard ink. Lovely colour, and I think in this pen works really well. Beauty about these dark grey or black pens, you can use anything, can't you? Then finally, the Waterman Karen. I am on the third fill of this pen and ink. I love this combo. And so much so is that every time I use this pen, I'm intending to use this same combo. I love the ink. As I said a few times, it's now my favourite ink full stop. And it's one, I'm going to break my no ink rule. And when it comes out later this year, hopefully later this year, if Diamond release them, I'm going to buy a full bottle. Absolutely love it. So anyway, this is the Waterman Karen. Cartridge converter. There we go. Got an embedded nib there. And it's 18 karat gold. So it's the Waterman Karen with a medium 18 karat gold nib. Very soft feeling nib. Absolutely beautiful to write with. It ain't cheap. That's the downside. You're looking about 445 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine. And it's Sleigh Ride. Absolutely love this ink. It's like a bit like a deep, like crimsony type base color. But then on the top, I mean, you can hopefully see this on the camera. It's got masses and masses of a beautiful, gorgeous green sheen. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely love that ink. So that's the Waterman Karen. Now, I'm going to break slightly with tradition. I'm going to go back over and we're going to look at the computer. Let me just open up the right window. So I had this thought last night. I know, always dangerous. I was sat there, it was about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? Let's do something different with my pens in use. So this is... you can call it an experiment if you want. What I thought I'd do is I'd create a poll so that people can pick what they think should be the winning pen. And then what I'll do is when I do my wrap-up video, obviously I'll give my ranking and then we'll look at this poll and see what everybody else is thinking. Now, in the past when I've done my polls, I've used YouTube, but that only lets you do 5 options and I use 6 pens. I then thought, well, how about using something like SurveyMonkey? They only let you get 25 responses, so I thought, well, that's no use. I thought about using my Discord that I want to reinvigorate, but then I thought to myself, no, that means people have to create accounts. and I want this to be something that you don't need to create an account for. So what I've done, I will post this link into the chat now. Let me copy, and let's pull up the chat for a second. Where we are, Chrome. Oh, loads of comments to go through. Let me paste that. So this is a link to a very quick and dirty website that I created last night. So very, very rough. I'm going to spend obviously some time over the next week or so tidying this up. So as you can see, it's very, very, this is my Instagram feed. I need to get that set up so I can do it properly. And I'm thinking I might actually start using this and maybe try doing something, around the blogging type things as well. So if you go there, there's this featured post, which is January 2025 pens in use, last year's winner. So clicking on that will fetch you up to the post. And unfortunately, you have to click that see all option. So here are the pens that I started the month with. Right, so there's one, well, not an issue. It doesn't go all the way across. That's something I can hopefully look at. So here you can go and then pick the one you want to be the winner. So you just need to click on it, and that does the vote. You can only click on one. You can only vote for one pen. So that's something I'll say. I'll put the link there. I'll try and link it into various different, not videos, into the comment section. I'll do a Facebook community post as well with the link. And I just want to see how that goes. If people, use it, if we get any votes. Again, love people's feedback. Don't look at the website. The website, to be honest, is complete shite. I will work on that over the next few. So let's go back to our comments. Wayward Satellite, welcome to you. Another good starter option is the Jinhao 80. Absolutely. It's like I like it as a Lamy Safari replacement nib, since it's less expensive, has a good round grip section instead of the tripod grip, and it can be used, can use Lamy nibs. Absolutely. There's loads and loads of really good value Chinese pens. Oh, that's just given me a thought. Starter pens split into what I might do. I was just going to do one video with like my top 5 starter pens, but I'm thinking now, I've just made a note to look at it. I might do top 5 Chinese pens and starter pens, and top 5 non-Chinese starter pens. That's something I'll have to think on that. Chronic Fish to Alia Rose. Oh, nice. Anita, small, have to post. Yeah, that's the, with a sport, you have to use that posted. Spin It June, I love my Pilot Kakuno. Yeah, I've not tried the Kakuno yet. I look at them, but they just don't draw me to them. Alia Rose, I use Marjon converters in my Kakuno. It makes it more practical. Yep, it's a good idea. Spin It June, I use the Con 70 converter. I don't have a Con 70. I've got plenty of Con 40s. So I just having a mouthful of drink. Marcy Me, love the pairing of the Twisby and the Forest Gatto. Yeah, I think it's another one of those near perfect pairings in terms of colour. Blonde Scales 1, I refill cartridges in my Kakuno. Alia Rose to Marcy Me, I've got Forest Gatto inked up in the Conklin 1898, should I say. Misto Purple. It's a really lovely ink, especially for a scented one. Yeah, that's Garry, a video on ink windows would be interesting. Absolutely awesome idea there, Tony. Ink windows. Okay, I've added that to my list to look at. Blonde Scales 1. My Kakuno currently has a Lamy ink in it. Ricardo. I wish we could buy Pilot, Kakuno, Explorer, Metropolitan or Prera pens from a UK seller. None of them are available here. I'm surprised at that. I'm surprised Cult Pens don't have any, because they seem to have a really wide range. But it could be something to do with all the UK import stuff. because I know that's really hitting a lot of people. Marcy Me to Alia Rose. That sounds like a lovely pairing. Haven't inked mine yet. Marcy Me to Tony. Excellent idea. Blonde Girls 1 having the same thought that I did. Let me just... looking at Colt pens. Andreas, Gary, what is the colour ink you use for the title? I missed it, but think it might be a good to try. That is Diamine Velvet Emerald. So that's from the 2023, I think it was, Inkrent calendar. Very nice soft green. And let's go back over to the iPhone for a second. Get it from my pen roll. And what that's, I've got that in a Mr. Pen, the Parsons Essential. And on here, there's a medium cursive italic nib. So, Mr. Pen, the Parsons. I can't remember how much. I think it's about $100, but they don't make them anymore. The Mr. Pen actually retired, and it's Diamine Velvet Emerald. Love it. It's a nice green ink. You just pop that away. I'll hold this up to the camera so you can hopefully get a better view of it. I know the light is shining on it now, but it's really nice, really pretty green. Back over to the camera. Spin Knit June. I agree about refilling cartridges. I do the same for my Kakuno and my Pereira. Tony, I bought my Pereira direct from Japan for about £25 in a calligraphy medium. Very easy to do and much cheaper than from UK sellers. Pilot 823 for £180. That's not bad prices. Ricardo, to Tony, yeah, I think it's the way forward. Tony, Amazon Japan is easy, but you can find Japanese stores that ship to the UK. I can't remember where it was. I was reading somewhere there. I can't remember the name of the store, but they buy direct from Japan, and they were saying they save a fortune. Bronze Scales 1. Apparently Colt Pens doesn't have those. Any new Jinhaos? I've got some new Jinhaos in my pile to do first impressions on. I can't remember what the models are. I've got that many. I do like my Jinhaos though. Of all my pens, Jinhao is the one I've got the most of. So much so, these are the trays that I use to store my pens in when I'm not using them. So in here I've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I've got 16 pens in there. And I've got 3 trays of them with Jinhao. All the others, I've only got 1 tray. So yeah, I do like my Jinhaos. Marcy Me, how do you like the Portuguese Meteor? I haven't it currently inked in my Pilot Pereira Custom CM. It's shading beautifully. I like it. Let me just check something. Scripts. Let me just pull notes up. I just want to check something because I think you might get a closer look at it tomorrow. Let me just look. Yeah. So catch tomorrow's video, or my tomorrow. In the US, it'll be, well, yeah, it'll still be your tomorrow, but just be a different day than me, which is my top 5 colour vent inks. You may find it in there. Ricardo to Tony, thanks. Alia Rose to Tony, I just got a 14 karat broad nib sailor profit for $58 from Amazon Japan. It even is sparkly. Tony, brilliant. Andreas, I'm sitting here watching all these beautiful pens, regretting my resolution to only buy 2 pens this year. So let's mention it. Resolutions. Only about 80% of, only about 20% of people have their resolution kept after 2 weeks. So don't worry about it. Go for it. That's what I would suggest. Chronic Fish. Sadly, I'm going to have to cut it short. It's 3:30 a.m. Here. I want to thank you, Gary, and the folks for the chat, for all your advice. Hope to catch another live soon. Have a great day. Now remember, These are all available afterwards, so you can watch them at any time. Marcy Me, is the blue spat? Is it the blue sparkly one? That was supposed to be me today. Not sure what that comment's do. Sorry. Alia Rose to Andreas. You can still get 2. Just be sure to get the best 2. Yeah, there's that as well. Tony, great to see you. Where are you in Greece? Alia Rose to Marcy Me. That's indeed the one. There's the link that I put in. I won't click on it because we've already seen it. I say I'll try and put that everywhere so people can see it. Alia Rose, I clicked on the link and my wallet burst into flames. Send help. I know what you mean. Marcy Me, it's in my cart. Let me refresh the comments. Tony Bins, they're all good, Gary. Kiss my resolutions for the UN. Absolutely with you on that. I don't do resolutions. What I do is I do themes. This was from the Cortex podcast. Just going to try and get the right book. I split in the black one. So what I do is I generate a theme. So this is my annual theme. And so this is the idea of everything I do. I need to think about how does it fit into this. And for quarter 1, I've got like a quarterly theme again. So I think about that. And then I've just dropped something. Let me get this round here. And then I've also then got a monthly theme. There we go. Yeah, you can see it. I couldn't see the camera from where I was. I've got to find somewhere to put that again. So that's what I do. Because of the fact that resolutions, they just don't last. Simply Orbs. Hey there, Gary. Welcome to you, Simply Orbs. Hello all. Gary, you do such a great job interpreting iPhone autocorrect such incorrect typos. Yeah, I'm not used to it from myself, I tell you. You can always tell when I'm replying on my phone because then you get all sorts of weird words. Whereas on my Mac, I've got Grammarly running, which helps me to correct my spelling. Alia Rose, resolutions exist to make one feel like a failure after sparking temporary hopes. Absolutely. I know, again, I can't remember the exact stats, but they were saying in January, gyms see a massive increase in memberships. And by February, it's dropped down to the normal level. And most of the people that join in January don't come anymore. Andreas, thanks, Alia Rose. I know the 2 pens I want, but it means things like Yardo LED Victoria Grand, Pilot E95S, Waterman Karen, Pilot 823 and Caveco Terrazzo are all on the pending list for this year. Yeah, I've got a massive list of pens I'd like, and it's growing all the time. Mr. Inky Fingers, welcome to you. Joining a little bit late from Michigan. Hope all is well down under. Absolutely awesome. Thanks there. And then we've got hi to Mr. Inky Fingers. So let's head over to the presentation. Let me get this running. And we go for Keynote. So last week's videos. On Monday, I had my video about the Ron Carey hybrid fountain pen. That's a beautiful looking pen. Absolutely stunning pen. Wednesday was my first impressions of the Just Turnings Alien Execution. So that was my Christmas Day gift from my wife. Again, beautiful, stunning pen. You'll see more of it next week because I'm going to be using it as my weekly pen next week. I didn't want to do it until that video had gone out, so that's going to be next week's pen. Then Friday, I had my top 5 2024 Inkvent inks. Really good video, really loved doing it, and quite a lot of people watched it, which was really good to see. Next week's video. So my Monday, most of the world's Sunday, will be my top 5 2024 Colourvent inks. Again, hope people enjoy that. So, definitely going through what I thought were the top 5. Wednesday, again, something that was gifted to me as part of my Inky Countdown. We're going to look at Iraful paper. It's my first impressions of it. So this is another Japanese paper manufacturer. I don't think it's as well known as a lot of other manufacturers. Oh, I've nearly finished my juice. So that'll be coming up on Wednesday. Friday will be my January 2025 inked pen. So this is where I go through pens that are currently inked but aren't in my everyday carry, just so we can get to give an idea of what's there in my pen case, because I still do use them most weeks. Some of them though I don't. Last month there was not many pens. This month there's a fair few more. And then on Saturday for my members only, we'll be having a Zoom call. So that will be my Saturday, 8:30 a.m. Australian Western Standard Time. I will be putting out on either Wednesday or Thursday. I'll put out a short 30-second video, which will have the details in. I'll also put out a members-only community post. Again, they'll have the details in. And my books of the week. So I finished Terry Pratchett Thud. Absolutely loved it. So to me, it was very much more of like just a detective style story, where there was a mystery to solve. I enjoy all the City. Well, I enjoy all the Terry Pratchett books, and yeah, the City Watch one's really nice characters. And then I started Shroud of Eternity by Terry Goodkind. So this is carrying on with his series. This is book number 2 of the Nikki Chronicles, and they've found like a long fabled city, and they're exploring it through like the I'm trying to think the best word of it to put it without, I don't want to spoil it, but it's like the I don't say the elders, like the aristocracy type people, the rulers of the city, and it's looking at how the city and the way they do things, how it stagnates really. So that's really enjoying that. I'm about a third of the way through, so hopefully by this time next week I should have finished it. Right, go back to the camera. Let's close this so I can see where I'm going. So back to the comments. Tony, auto-incorrect is a pain. Absolutely right. Sorry, auto-correct. I always just refer to it as auto-incorrect because that's really a better description. David, my resolution was not to make unreasonable and unattainable resolutions and just try and do the best I can with God's help. Absolutely awesome, yeah. Blonde Scales 1, I have a new non-pens thing adding themselves to my want list. Yeah, again, I know what you're on about there. I've got some new stuff this week. I'm going 1 second. I've got 2 new pop vinyls this week. I've got Locutus of Borg, and I've got the Borg Queen. I managed to get them in before my wife ordered them. So let me just pop that there. I'll put them back on the shelf in a minute. Mr. Inky Fingers to Alia Rose. Alia Rose, I love Irrifle. Marcy Me to Tony. Yeah, I'm often appalled at my text messages. Yeah, I'm completely with you on that. I just find that you get all sorts of things, and it's so easy to get the wrong word, especially when you type in a word like pens. You can imagine what sort of word might come up. Tony, my resolution was to be very selective this year. It lasted a day. 4 new pens so far and a bag full of nibs. At least I was selective. Yeah. Same. Blonde Skills, same time as Live, only 1 day earlier. Yeah, same time as the live, only 1 day earlier. Tom to David, a meta resolution, a resolution about resolutions. Yeah, awesome. Marcy Me, yes, I don't make resolutions. My daily proclamation is to thank him for waking me and to be willing to do his will. David, to Tom, that's my best resolution. David, my thinking exactly. Kiss me, or kiss my non-pain things like food, clothing, shelter. I feel your pain. Blonde Scales 1, Legos creeping back into my hand. I have seen I've obviously since my child was young, a lot of years ago. I haven't really played with Lego, but I do see lots of people with the gorgeous sets, and then I see the price and I think, nope, I'd rather buy a pen. David, to turn it, well, you were selective, so that's something. And then Marty me, we got, I don't know, a hand, a heart. It's like a cross and a picture I can't see. Let's refresh. So let's start with the wrap up. So thank you all. I absolutely love doing these. I know I say it all the time. Please hit that thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment. It just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new friends. New friends. Well, yes, new friends. But see, you can also get new videos when I release them. Membership is available. Membership helps me with getting stuff for the channel. So everything that comes through from membership, from super chats, from the YouTube advertising, everything gets fed back into buying more stuff for the channel. It might be paper, it might be pens. I do want this year to get a new upgrade my microphone. So at the moment I use the Blue Yeti. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's in my face all the time, and as I move away, we lose the volume. So what I'm looking at getting, I've seen it. It's a Rode Wireless Pro, and it just clips on your clothes, and it comes with actually 2 of them, so that I can have one down on the table when I'm doing my writing videos, so I can actually capture the writing from that without having to move a mic up and down. So that's something that I want to try and get this year. So lots of plans. I say I've still got my money sat there waiting for that Pelican. I will get it. I will get it. Just don't know how much I'll pay for it. So yeah, membership, everything that people can do to support me, to help me to support. Start again. Everything people can do to help supporting the channel, very much appreciated. Back to the comments. Marcy me, amen, my friend. Blonde Scales 1, Lego plants are nice and don't die. Absolutely, I'll be with you on that one. Blonde Scales 1, have a great week all. Tony, to David, I have made about 10 hand-turned wooden pens too. Awesome. I wish I had the skills to do stuff like that. Alia Rose, my youngest gifted me a gorgeous Lego orchid. Always blooming, just need dusting occasionally. Do you know, I don't know what it is about us. We've tried having orchids because, they look really nice. We've had about a dozen. Everyone we get within 6 months is dead. I don't know what it is we do to them, but they just do not survive. Evan, I really enjoyed the conversation this evening. Blessings to all. Thank you, Evan. Blonde Scales 1, I've got the succulents and the bonsai. Marcy me, love it. Ricardo, gentlemen and ladies, have a great week. See you next week. Kiss my night, everyone. Thanks, Garry. No, thank you to you. Without people joining in, we wouldn't really have anything. So that's all the comments. So I will come back in 1 second and just look if there's any more. So thank you all for your time. I will leave the comments open as the outro is playing, which is what I normally do. The outro is only about 10 seconds. So please, if you want to carry on talking, you can do. Tony, thanks for another good one, Garry, and good night, everybody. I'll do one final refresh. So thank you all for your time. Absolutely brilliant conversation, and I'll talk to you again soon.